Student activism in school, getting your voice heard, resources, inspiration, and advice for making a difference on and off campus. Resources, resources from accreditedscholsonline.org, written by Eddie Thompson. Student activism has surged in the last decade, with young campaigners calling on leaders both on and off campus to right wrongs, erase inequalities, and secure the future of our planet. But this is nothing new. Student activists led the charge during the civil rights movement and were early adopters of environmentalism. While peaceful protests and petitions are still important parts of their toolbox, today's student activists are expanding by bringing activism to the web and social media. The following guide explains what it means to be a student activist. It also provides tools and guidance on how to create goal oriented, effective rallies for change. How to become a student activist. While you may have already have causes you're passionate about, gathering supporters and developing a thoughtful plan to enact change are just as important as the initial idea. The timeline below can help budding activists develop a measured approach to achieving their goals. Step one, pinpoint your passion. Whether it's protecting a historic building on your college campus, ensuring fair treatment to animals, or fighting for LGBTQ equality, the most passionate student activists have identified a cause that makes them get up each morning believing they can make things better. Step two, educate yourself. Depending on your chosen area of activism, there is a good chance that others have identified this issue. First, find out if others are fighting for the same cause. If so, go to their website and read up on the topic. To be fully informed, try to find position papers from groups on the other side. Once you have a firm grip on the issue, you can see if you can commit to its strategy for change or need to adopt a different approach. Step three, determine your goal. When you start making others aware of the injustice you've identified, what action are you hoping to encourage? It could be you want to gain signatures in support of a proposed plan for the administration, or perhaps you're more interested in raising public awareness. Either way, listing short, intermediate, and long term goals keeps you organized and shows supporters you've thought things out. Step four, tap into resources. Resources come in many forms, and one of the first types a student should find is peer groups. Activists looking for strength in numbers should start on their campus, preferably by reaching out to a faculty or staff member who will advise you. But don't shy away from contacting national groups. Many have toolkits filled with media strategies and organizational plans. Step five, create an action plan. Think about the objectives that need to be in place to achieve that goal. Then develop detailed action steps to complete the objectives and meet your goals. Step six, go. You have identified your passion, educated yourself on it, set goals, found resources, and created a plan for success. The final step to becoming a student activist is to bring awareness to your cause. This could mean speaking at a student club meetings, blogging, organizing a speaker series, or meeting with your administration. Take action. Common methods of student activism. Iconic scenes of protesters taking over a square or marching down a busy road pop into most people's minds when they think of activists. But there are several other methods of taking action to make a change. Internet activism, Facebook sharing, hashtag campaigns, mass tweeting. The world of social media and blogs has opened several doors for making injustices known. and students can share information across their accounts to maximize their reach. Social media can be used to advance nearly any cause. Media. Using media to raise awareness about a cause can quickly educate potential supporters about the issue and move them to your side. Campus radio shows, school newspapers, and departmental bulletin boards are all free advertising platforms. In addition, smartphones let users film, edit, and disseminate high quality videos. Protests. Protests come in many different forms and serve different functions depending on how they are used. Common examples of protests include remembrance vigils, picket lines, rallies, and marches. Sit ins. This protest movement was popularized by students during the civil rights movement. It, involve, it involves occupying a space and refusing to vacate until requirements are met. This method could be used for a variety of causes, ranging from racial inequalities to longer library hours. Occupations. The main difference between an occupation and a sit in is that occupations typically take place in larger, open spaces. Perhaps the most well known example in recent years is Occupy Wall Street. Petitions. Students can collect signatures the old fashioned way, standing in the center of a student union, or do it online. In either form, petitions help students coalesce around an issue and show leaders how many people believe in a cause. Petitions are often the first step for many different forms of activism. Boycotting. Is the campus cafeteria using unsustainably grown products? Has there been a racial injustice in on campus housing? In these instances, boycotting a space and getting others to do it with you might be an effective and quick method of garnering attention for your cause. Strikes. Unlike boycotts, where people are consuming a good or service, such as cafeteria food or a particular class, refuse to patronage, strike occurs when employees or student workers refuse to work due to a policy or action they deem unacceptable. Demonstrations. This collective method of activism involves gathering a large group of people and demonstrating dissatisfaction in mass, typically with a march that ends at a place significant to the cause. For example, student activists protesting gender discrimination in college sports may elect to end their march in a large sports field where a speaker rallies the crowd. Civil disobedience. Brought into widespread use by Mahatma Gandhi, civil disobedience is a mostly nonviolent method of activism where participants purposely violate rules, laws, or expectations they morally disagree with. In student activism, civil disobedience may be used for issues related to religious freedoms and civil liberties. For educators and parents, benefits of student activism. Student activists have been at the heart of social progress for decades, serving as instrumental participants in movements against sexism and racism and for more civil rights and freedoms. College campuses often serve as incubators of these movements, providing a setting where students discover their passions and develop skills to combat prejudice and inequality. While parents and educators may worry about these activities, there are several benefits of student activism for students, schools, communities, and the nation. Skill development. In addition to classroom learning, student activists develop skills while campaigning for their cause, including public speaking, persuasion, critical thinking, and negotiation. Political involvement. Students who participate in politics from an early age can cement themselves as active members of society who stay abreast of current issues and engage with the political process. Care for the community. Although student activists may start with one pet issue, seeing a project through to a satisfying conclusion can build a lifelong devotion to standing up for their communities. Positive impact. When student activists are successful in their endeavors, it means a greater quality of life for those they're fighting for. For example, when a student enacts a recycling program, it benefits the environment. When racial policies are successfully defeated, it means greater access for more people. Teaching others. Many of the inequalities facing the U.S. go unnoticed by citizens. Student activists provide a public service by educating their communities on injustices occurring around them. Civil engagement. Regardless of how a student's experience with activism plays out after graduation, their early involvement sets the stage for lifelong civic engagement.